From a Legend Story Studios perspective, the hype train last year was real, and it kept chugging along all year long. From a podcast perspective, I still forget my counter on the Tunic and all those year of play mistakes. I'm just going to say they were calculated risks that didn't pan out. The last year was a pretty good one, though. We started this podcast back in March and consistently put out a new episode each week, Sundays at 6 p.m. I've learned a lot about what it takes to start taking this game seriously, but also what it takes to put a show together. I've always said that this was a learning and growing podcast, and I feel like my top 8 finishes in some Pro Quest was a definite improvement since the year prior. I am always even considering throwing my hat into the Calling Your Battle Hardened that's coming into Atlanta in January, so that's something new. I usually stick to the side events. We've had on all sorts of guests, to our current returning guest, Andrew Lorenz, to our locals and top players, such as Jeremy, who day 2'd at Worlds, and Paul, Sinclair, Jorge, Jeff, and Zack. Paul for making top finishes being relatively new to the game, Sinclair for helping share his market insights, Jorge for his expertise on nutting, and Jeff and Zack for coming on and sharing their assassin insights. Lastly, can't forget the Siblings and Cardboard podcast, Black Market Note, who joined Sinclair in a market breakdown, Justin, who shared his Pleiades deck tech, Tommy, who shared his Archaeo insights, making it the top 4 finish in the Philly Battle Hardened, which is pretty cool, on the same hero, and Donnie, who joined the other assassins to share his own insights. It's been a great year, but today we are going to break it down step by step, Armory Deck by Armory Deck, to really review this year. But before that, what did we learn since last week, Andrew?
Well, first I'd like to say, there's not a calling in Atlanta, right?
What is this? A Battle Hardened?
It's just the Battle Hardened.
Okay, well, there you go.
There's a calling the week after in Columbus.
Well, it wouldn't be a Tunic Counter Gamers podcast if I didn't say something that's slightly incorrect within the first opening segment. So I'm doing Evan proud right there as he's cringing. So yeah, Battle Hardened in the Atlantas. That's a Saturday, though. I thought they usually closed out the tournaments with the Battle Hardens.
Yeah, so the reason why we don't do Battle Hardens on their own anymore is because unless you literally live there, it's really, really bad value to actually drive even 4 hours and spend a night at a hotel to go to a Battle Hardened.
So what's the Atlanta one? That is a Battle Hardened then.
Yeah, so that's a Battle Hardened. It's one of the last Battle Hardens they're doing because standalone events kind of suck. That's why we have showdowns now replacing Battle Hardens.
Yep. Which is coming out in 2026. Which I guess will be topical for next year's 2026 cast. So I know I learned already something new. So, Andrew, what did we learn since last week, though?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Verdant's still a real tech.
Yeah?
You'd think that Rupa Carapace leaving would, be bad for her. But it turns out that when everybody cuts all of their sideboard plans for Verdants from their decks, suddenly that matchup is a lot less good for them.
So KO leaving, Verdant's assumably being a pile of manure now, decomposing, isn't really true. She's springing back to life.
Yeah. Florian is still on suicide watch, but Verdant's is out here thriving in her element.
That's funny.
Winning callings.
Great. And I heard that Kadachi Phi is dead. Is this happening?
Kadachi Phi is dead though. I know. Poor Jeremy.
Coffin and nails in the coffin.
Yeah, bro. The deck was already on its last legs, and now you can't even brand with Cinderclaw to Kadachi for 1.
Oh man, I know Evan was. Didn't Evan 3-0 Armory with Kadachi Phi?
I know. That's why they had to ban Brand with Cinderclaw. James White watches all of these.
Oh yeah, of course. He gets those insights.
Yeah, he watched that video and was like, "Oh my god, hold on, guys, we have to do some internal testing." And they're like, "Oh no, this card, this deck with Compendium, it's gonna break the meta. We have to do a preemptive ban. I swear."
So I guess what I'm hearing is Syndra caught the strays from them banning it for the Kadachi Phi deck.
Yeah, no, everybody thought that Phi was the one catching the strays. Syndra.
It was Syndra, yeah. I mean, hey, LSS is thinking 3 steps ahead, I guess. So, Andrew, how about the armories? I know you haven't really been playing a lot, just 1 or 2.
Yeah, no, I think I went to literally 1 armory this week. Oh yeah, because we had Christmas on Thursday, so I couldn't go to that armory.
That's right. Oh, that holiday.
Yeah, bro. Christmas is a blur because you go to sleep Christmas Eve, you wake up and you're doing things, And then you go to sleep and you wake up and you're like, it's now the 26th of December. What happened?
But yeah, so good holidays overall. I know people are still out about doing the holiday thing. Families in town or they're traveling. That's why we're down to just us two today, the loyalists. My Christmas is over. You know, it's been handled. We got that done. Just like you said, I blinked and here it is. But I did get to play on Tuesday. I went 2-1 with Reinar. So I was debating whether I should go Reinar or KO for the upcoming RTN season. And I figured I'll just stick with KO, Armed and Dangerous right now because he's going LL anyways. I may as well just finish him out. And then, you know, look at that great Mandible Claw and know that Savage Claw is going to be replacing it soon. So such a tough nut weapon, and yet they gave it to RKO. I just don't understand it.
No, it's even better.
What's that?
You know that weapon says you have to pitch a 6, not have a 6 and pitch, so it can't even use it.
Oh man, that's such a.
it's so bad. What hero is it for?
You know, it would have been KO's Armed Dangerous signature weapon, is what it should have been, right? Because at least it's a 6 in the pitch zone, right? Like
so. Yeah, like I'm pretty sure like it was like they're like RKO's about to have like a mini meat axe to play with. Let's give him a weapon real quick.
Yeah, I tell you what though. Yeah, so I actually got my cold foil meat axe just because I know Reiner's going to have to substitute something out. I might as well go with that for now. And his romping clip's good too. I mean, I like the alternate art golf club picture, so I'll play with both those.
Yeah, you can swing forward when you swing it.
Yeah, I sure in the heck do. Every time obnoxiously. So, all right. This podcast, it's wrapping up the end of the year. I mean, after this, it's 2026, man. And I figured it'd be kind of fun. This is our first time doing this, but kind of like a year in review, right? I mean, it's all been a blur. So I actually had to think about what came out in a year, right? And I totally forgot, man. Our first set, Hunted, January 2025, introduced Fang, Syndra, Arachne Marionette, and Slippy, Slip Through the Cracks, right? So let's talk about the sets as we go through this and your takeaways, your thoughts, good, bad. You know, this one introduced the marked mechanic. Wait, what did you think, Andrew?
So the thing that like I think about the most when I think about the Hunted is a certain card in particular, Shelter from the Storm.
Oh yeah.
And how annoying it was to get everybody a playset of this card in time for calling Memphis. Like this card, like, is so stupid.
Well, and here's the thing, like, and okay, so we'll go ahead and bring this up.
Yeah.
Shelter from the Storm, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's just a red 4-block defense reaction, cost 0, but as an instant, you can discard it, and the next 3 times you be dealt damage this turn, prevent 1 of that damage. Ooh, and we got the cool hats off version from Compendium.
Yeah. So here's the thing, right? Well, I remember when this came out and people were like, "Oh, you know, it's just a Fate Force team with a little upside," and I was like, "I don't know, man.
That's a major upside.
This is going to be a really expensive card." And I think we were thinking it was going to top out at $50, but this thing reached up to $100 and something, right?
Yeah, it was like over 100 at one point. Like
Jesus. Yeah, and then it was like, who would have thought like printing a generic 2-for-6 3-block would raise the stakes, and who would have thought that printing a generic D-react with some instant discard upside and a 4-block would spike the card to all hell because everyone needed this card.
Yeah, no, it's just insane. Like,
yeah,
this card like defined the year for me. This is probably like the card I've like looked at in my hand the most over the course of the entire year.
I have bought and sold a playset of these cards at premium, and then I bought my current playset at kind of like a $50-$60 price tag. I was pretty happy with that. So seeing it settle around that price, yeah, I actually the Hunted, we still crack packs hoping to find this card because it's such a good pull. All right, I do like how when Hunted came out, like it introduced Fang, and you know Fang was pretty decent, but everyone was hyped on the Arachne Marionette, hyped on Slippy, and then kind of down on Syndra initially, right? Until they kind of figured her out. I mean, I know.
Yeah, and she immediately won calling Memphis.
Right, Brody.
Granted, granted, he did have to think really hard about what to discard to CNC and choose nothing. So, like, actually do that.
Hey, so are you telling me that if you just ignore your pummel, we don't usually crap talk, but that's a pretty funny. I
Like
totally
it
forgot
is
about that,
like it's
dude.
really weird because
Yeah.
like when like Syndra won, we're like, is Syndra good or is it just that like because like what also happens in top eight, like his Viserai opponent
Hmm.
got deck checked and like got an intellect penalty off of that and ended up losing about that. And it was apparently very clear that he would have won had he been deck checked, like what got hit with the penalty. And so we're like, all right, is the deck good? Or did Brody just have like the power of God on his side this
Yeah.
entire turn of it? It turns out it was actually just a good deck.
Yeah, it was meta relevant once people discovered it, especially after we talk about the next set. Any other? I mean, Hunting was pretty good. I thought it was a really hype set. I mean, I love the Memphis release. I like the Mart mechanic.
Yeah, it was like a decently fun, like limited environment.
Is there any other cards that you want to give a shout out to here? I mean, there's a lot of little ones. I know Assassin's got some help. Warriors got some help. Well, Dagger
Yeah, I
Warriors.
know. Like one of the big
This,
things about this is like the hybrid cards in this set were actually like really good.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
it was like Pain in the Backside's like a crazy card. Like Cut Through's a crazy card. Up Six and Run's a crazy card. Like these are like all cards that like my opponent plays them, I'm like, oh, this is like a real turn.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about Cut Through too, because Cut Through is, who would have figured, right? This is just a head jab, isn't it?
Oh, it's kind of like a head jab, but if head jab, you can get +1 and go again
Right.
instead of just having to go again by default.
So you're telling me this is a 0 for 4, right? In
Yeah, this
essence,
is
when you're
0 for
playing
4
it.
of go again. This card's insane.
Dude. Yeah, and it's so good. God, and like we even got some basic 0 for 4s, like trying to remember the one where you reveal your hand and your dagger gets +4. And if they
Oh, it's like
reveal,
cut from the same cloth.
yeah. Like even this one's a pretty good front pump too, right? Because it gives you your
Yeah,
hand exposure, and this is still a rare. So I think we might
yeah,
see this for any kind of like those
yeah.
assassin
Like
daggers, and
yeah, in Silver Age, like if you're playing an assassin, you have to justify not playing cards like this.
yeah, exactly. And
Oh,
who would have thought?
oh,
So,
speaking of Silver Age, the Blade Beckoner equipment was in this set. That's like those are the most important cards in the entire format.
okay, now here's the thing about Blade Beckoner. I remember when we cracked cold foils, we were so disappointed that we got a common or rare Blade Beckoner cold foil. I'm looking at my list or my box of like cold foils. I was like, oh, I have like 2 or 3 of these. I just,
Yeah,
you
it's
know,
like, oh wow, this is like $50 for a set. Oh, I think they've
oh
gone
man,
down a little bit
yeah,
since.
yeah. No, the hype was real. We'll talk about Silver Age at the end of this, but yeah, that's good,
Yeah.
good point.
The last card I really want to talk about is Quick Dodge Flexors. This is like another huge deal.
Yes, dude, I totally forgot that Quick Dodge Flexors came out in the Hunted.
Yeah, no, this set was like insanely high power, but like
Yeah.
it didn't feel that busted.
That's a good point because we all thought when we first like even Quick Dodge, I was like I picked my copy early because I figured it's just good in every deck that you need that quick defense reaction, and who would have thought that it's used in a lot of different decks because of that.
Yeah, like Gravy would probably be like, see, probably like down a tier from like where it is now if it wasn't for this card, like single handedly carrying a lot of the aggro matchups.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So all right, so Hunting bust is set. If you had to rate it out of 5 stars, we'll bring back the old rating system. What would you give it? 5 out of 5?
No, I think it's like 4 out of 5 set. Like I think
Okay.
that Fang in particular, they really did a poor job at handling. Like he just does not feel like that unique
Mm.
or good.
Well, I played Fang and I liked him. I thought he was pretty strong for what he did, just value play, going to town, getting online. That like the mini game. But go figure, one card shutting him down with the most popular hero, one of the more popular heroes in the set, meaning Scour, is a pain in the
Yeah.
ass, and it's just sometimes not worth
Yeah,
it.
like he can't beat any wizard to save his life.
Yep, yep, yep.
As long as that card's legal. And like
Yeah.
see
Oh,
him.
they also said the same thing about Kasai. In all fairness,
I mean, I still think Kasai sucks. Like,
yeah,
and I also only exclusively play decks that dumpster Kasai, so it's probably part of it.
yeah. All right, well, let's talk about the next High Seas. This one came out in June 2025. Puffin,
Yeah.
Marlin, Gravy Bones. What did you think about the treasure packs?
Oh, the treasure packs. They were like kind of annoying mechanic because it
Hmm.
made it a little bit weirder to actually do drafts because for this set, Nationals was release weekend.
Hmm.
And so like we needed to get all of our limited prep done like ASAP pre-release weekend for Nationals / Calling Vegas. And like normally what you do is you'd be like, all right, guys, we're gonna split this one box 8 ways for every armory or whatever to like get our draft in. But the treasure packs are like, what do we do with this? Do we just give it to like the guy that wins? Do we hand this out randomly? Do we have
Yeah.
just one dude buy the whole box so it like works? And so it sucked in that way. But you know, as somebody that like sells stuff on TCG Player, I'm like, yeah, this is awesome, bro.
Yeah.
I just
Like,
open a pack and get like a card worth $500.
but see, that to me is also, I feel like the value came from the treasure packs. And I know there were some stores that would crack open the packs just for the treasure pack to and sell the boosters, whatever. Like our store, luckily raffled out the treasure packs a lot of the times, um,
Yeah.
to the players as a random giveaway, which is cool. But I heard that there was some difficulty when people were trying to buy boxes of this or trade in their prize tickets for boxes of this at the conventions. And they were like, "Oh, we're not giving out full boxes. We're just doing packs, right?" Because they were trying to get the treasure packs. Did you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, no, I remember literally at Nationals,
Mm-hmm.
like day two, like there was like an announcement saying that you could get gold packs of your prize tickets. And like I learned that apparently like that was supposed to be a thing on day one. And you know, not saying for sure that the tournament organizers were doing anything unscrupulous. I'm sure it was just like actually like just error in communication because
Sure.
Star City's not as stupid as Channel Fireball, but it
Any
was funny.
opinions that Andrew makes?
Or
I'm
my
one.
own.
Yeah, no, I'm one back too. Like, we're not
Oh,
gonna throw
bro.
them out there. No, I mean, I can't speak to it because I wasn't there, but I heard there was some stuff that made people walk away feeling a little bit bad because of the treasure packs. Go figure. You introduce treasure into a flesh and blood set, and people get
Yeah.
greedy. So
Really
very much the
flavorful
pirate
though.
thing. What's that?
Yeah, really flavorful though. Like it was
Yeah.
really cool. Like seeing like everybody post about opening like their James White signed like whatever. Like when
Yeah.
MinMax was just like uploaded that video of them being like, we have the Great Library of Solana,
Yeah.
and then like you go to Nationals and like they just have it in their case, and you're like, wow, that's just there.
Andrew, how much was it? Do
God,
you,
I didn't even ask. Like it's one of
if
those things where
you
it's
had to
like I
ask.
know the answer is if you're asking, you're not rich enough.
So true. It's so true. All right.
It's like a
So,
Ferrari.
all right. I forgot to mention this in Hunted, but drafting in Hunted, fun.
Yeah, but high seas though,
Let's
this
talk.
this may actually just be like the best limited experience I've had in the entire Flesh and Blood. Like,
Yeah. I gotta be honest with you. I loved like I always like limited or drafting in these sets, from Rosetta, Hunted, and High Seas. But I gotta say, High Seas, I felt like had most nuanced draft experience I've experienced yet.
yeah, no, like I've yet to like have a moment in like high seas draft where like it feels like I'm losing because like of variance and not like because I made a mistake or like I did something risky like an idiot
Yeah.
outside of the existence of Scurv.
Well, here's the thing. If you see the Scurv roll up and you could pull him, you're telling me you're not going to try to get this little good
Oh
old.
no,
I
like
forgot to even put Scurv on here, dude. That
yeah,
poor
no, like
bastard's not even
he's
playable
like
now.
yeah, no, like the amount of stories I would hear about people that are like, yeah, I went 6-2 day one of Calling Vegas, which was sealed. He was draft. And they're like, oh, really, what were your losses? It's like Scurv and Scurv.
That's
That's
freaking
cool.
hilarious, dude. As and this guy, no one knew about him until they opened it up and like, oh, who's
Yeah,
this
it's just
guy?
at
This
the world
Scurv stowaway.
premiere. Like,
That's LSS, man. That is classic, dude. All right, yeah. So let's talk about the new classes. We had Puffin, Marlin, and Gravy Bones. Now, I'm going to ask you to hold your opinion on Gravy Bones until we're about to move on to the next set. But tell me your thoughts about Puffin and Marlin first.
so Puffin, like, I actually think is about the power level I want, like, heroes to be at
Hmm.
release, where it feels like the deck is really good, and there's just like one or two expansion slot cards that's missing to really make the deck work. And then like she's also just a really fun deck to play.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, like I know Ning really took to Puff and started blinging out that deck like he did Aurora, R.I.P. Aurora, and he really liked her. There's a little bit of variance with the Puff and play, but she has some really strong play lines. Let's talk about Marlin.
Yeah. Marlin, yeah, no, she needs to go back into the oven, okay? She is not ready.
Well, how about in
It's
LL
easy.
though? That was brain blowing, right? When she actually is a really good deck in LL, which was
Yeah, like it's very clear that she was being designed before the book bans took place completely. It's like, oh, this is just what Marlin wanted to be. It's like, this is why they banned Cash. Got
oh
it.
man. Or like, but she also caught a lot of strays from the third hero we're about to talk about, Gravy Bones, because when they were trying to bring Gravy Bones back in line with the other heroes from the set and all the other heroes, like it's hard to design around a board state hero. I get it. Board state heroes break the game in some capacity, but Marlin caught the most strays from Gravy Bones BNR bans, from the good Tipples bans to, well, the Tipple bans more or less. That
Yeah,
kind
it's
of
just
made
a
her
tipple.
non-functional in some
Yeah,
ways.
like Golden Tipple should have just been like a Majestic or
Yeah.
like been
Or
like
Marlin
only blue.
specialization.
Like that card, like 9 Golden Tipple in conjunction with Gold Baited Hook
Yeah.
is insane.
Well, and gold baited hook is a really good weapon. Like,
Yeah, Gold Baited Hook is just like a really good, well-made design for
yeah,
like a legendary. Like this is something that both Marlin and Gravy like play with in fairly different ways, and like make the hero.
yeah. And can we say how it's just a battle worn piece of equipment too? Which, I would have been okay with it being blade break. I've seen a lot worse weapons be blade break or less equipment be blade break. So, yeah, but Marlin being an LL powerhouse, I would have never thought that. But go figure, right? And then, all right, let's talk about your favorite character in the High Seas release. Good old G Bones.
Uh, yeah, no, he was. It was mainly just like the fact that he had 9 Tipples at release. It just like made it so the deck's velocity was insane. Like
Yeah.
the something from Magic the Gathering I learned is in like the older formats with the larger card pools, um, blue decks have access to the most like hand fixing and like card advantage engines. And so they end up being a lot more powerful just because like their sideboards can just be like full of 2-ofs. And what
Mm.
they do when like they side in cards is they just see like more of their deck than every other deck in the format. It's so, like you compare like the sideboards of like a blue deck and it's all 2-ofs, and then you have like another deck and it's just like 4-of, 4-of, 4-of.
Mm. Yeah, and then I know Gravy Bones had gold generation mechanic. He could fish out. He could just fix his hand just through the gold generation alone.
Yeah, be consistent.
Yeah, and then I remember when I first started playing Prismatic Leyline and that set. All right, this is before they started adding it in, but I thought this is a great Gravy Bones card. I don't know why people weren't playing it, and Scoop is pretty
Um,
decent.
yeah, so like a lot of people were actually playing this at nationals. I
There you
remember
go.
like I was walking around nationals, and I just like saw a dude playing it, and I'm like, I should buy a playset of that now.
Yeah,
Well, it's $5.
dude, that's exactly what I bought. I got 5 of these, right, at $5 a piece, right. So yeah, that was my call. And then yeah, so Gravy Bones, again, Hero came out, people still solving him out, people liked him. A lot of people were hyped on him. They thought everything was over with the first BNR, but he was still strong. Came out with the second BNR more recently, and he's still strong. So we'll see where he lands, right? A little less consistent now, I would say, right?
Yeah, but like at the same time, like if there's one thing I've learned about board states is that they're like cockroaches, man. You cannot kill them. You're like, surely they're gone.
Yeah.
It'll come back.
Yep. Well, how long have we been saying that about Prism? Oh, this isn't Prism's meta. She's still around. She's still making tops, right? Like you cannot,
Yeah.
like you said, perfect analogy.
Yeah,
Cockroach.
illusionists are cockroaches, man.
And
You're
Gravy
like, oh,
Bones.
this meta Prism sucks.
All right, and
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It'll still make top 8.
for those listeners, I actually do own a Prism deck. I do own a Gravy Bones deck, so I'm willing to play with the cockroaches just as much as anyone else. But it's not my main deck, right? So yeah, Gravy Bones still strong. I like it. Go figure. Any other thoughts? Any other power cards from this set? Other in general?
Oh, a big thing I want to talk about is the expansion slots in this deck, in this
Oh yeah.
set. Yeah, we have powerhouses. Like, I think the big one to talk about is Escalate Bloodshed. Because, like, this is, like, winning the contest for, like, worst card in all of Flesh and Blood. Like, hands down. It's so hard to, like, answer the question of, like, what's the worst card in your game?
All
But,
right.
you know, James White did it for
Look,
us.
look. So I'm going to just read this to the listeners because I know that sure in hell they're not going to remember what this card says. Escalate Bloodshed is a red pitch, 0 cost. Whenever a hero draws a card during the action phase, they lose a life. At the beginning of each hero's action phase, they draw a card. At the beginning of each hero's end phase, if a weapon did not attack this turn, destroy this. This is a warrior instant aura. Has no block value. It is a majestic. Alright. So yeah, I gotta say, I own this, but I didn't even bother getting a playset of this.
All right.
Right.
Yeah, so what's funny about this is, so apparently Joshua Lau, famous warrior
Yeah.
player, we're not memeing this time, he actually is, asked like some LSS devs what the purpose of the card is. Do you want to guess what their thought process with this card
Oh
was?
god, I don't even. Go ahead.
You pitch stacked it to kill them as an instant. That was their genius idea. What were they thinking? What was going on in like design? Like what was Fig doing that we just
Oh
didn't
my
guess?
gosh. Yeah. So okay, but you did bring up a good point. The expansion slot so far, I think it started in Hunted in the high seas, but especially in the high seas, they kept on doing like expansion slots expanding like what it was doing. I know Rosetta did a little bit, but it seems like each expansion slot has been growing more and more and more, right?
Yeah,
Each
like
set, right?
yeah, like in this set we had like Claw and Sarakai, which single-handedly like
Yep.
took multiple matchups for Syndra and just upped them by like 5-10%.
Yeah.
It's just like, yeah, a Draconic Dagger that says Spell Void 1 on it is that good.
Yeah. Yep. Especially if you keep on buying it back, right? Who would
Yeah.
thought? So yep.
Yeah.
So the powerhouses got a little bit more powerful. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
Um,
Verdant's like became like a real deck of this set too because it got both Everbloom and Burn Bear.
yeah.
Like it's crazy to think a year ago we were playing against like Verdants that like had to kill you from like 7,
Yeah.
and now
But
we're
never
like,
reach
oh,
was
I'm
like
at
9,
9.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah, it was crazy because I remember when Burn Bear came out, and we already knew that it was a hyped card because it did one thing Wizards needed help against, which was target the Phantasm matchup too. So, and it just still sticks to arcane damage regardless. So KO played it, Verdance loved it. Like, why not, right? And then Everbloom Life was good for all the Earth heroes. I've seen
yeah,
this
I
both
know.
in Florian and y'all.
Yeah, I know. Every tournament I go to, without fail, that one game that's gone to time, I walk over and it's just a Jarl going Everbloom, put Everbloom on bottom of my deck, swing Titan's Fist for 4. Without fail, it always happens every tournament.
It sounds like Rob's playstyle. All right. So Baron Bear, like good card sets. All right. We gotta talk the next set, right? This is the one
We
we
have to
actually
talk
had
about
you.
this set.
This is the one we actually had you on for to help us do a review.
Oh no, you're forgetting a certain set.
Oh, what was before this one? This is August
Mastery
2020.
Pack
Oh
Guardian.
no no that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
No, I showed up
Yeah.
for Super Slam.
No 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 no. Oh you showed up for Super Slam?
Yeah, I did the
Okay
Super
okay.
Slam set review. I got Super Slammed for it.
All right good good. So you showed up for Super Slam. That's good. I thought you were for Master Pack Guardian. So
Oh no, I was better than that.
August 2025. I was incredibly hyped on this set until I realized this set was dog shit. It wasn't bad. It just didn't do what LSS designed it to do, which was, a fundamentals deck for the Guardian players. I think they try to do this to kind of pitch it alongside Smash Palace, in addition to Vault and the Mastery Pack Guardian cards. But really, the cards in this deck weren't very good. The pull rates are terrible, and I still find myself buying it because when you hit the high notes, it pays for itself, right?
Yeah, no, this set's really weird because you're like open a box, be like, this box sucked. Then you open a cold foil like base of the mountain, you're like, that just paid for 4 boxes.
Right. All right, so we got Valda. Valda, actually, my Reinhardt beat a Valda. I heard historically that's a bad matchup, but I high rolled the hell this
Yeah,
person.
and Valda's like actually like a really fun deck.
Yeah.
But like she kind of sucks. And what blows my mind about her is how expensive she is in spite of it. Have you seen the price on Leyline of the old ones?
How much is the price?
Well, let me look it up real quick.
Actually,
So I can
Leyline
give
of the
you-
old ones. I might have pulled a Marvel.
Oh, I hope you did.
Oh,
Because
maybe
that's like
not.
worth a ton of money.
Nope, I did not pull a Marvel of the Leyline.
Yeah, the cheapest listing on TCG Player right now is $105.46.
Oh, wow.
And that's required for this hero.
It
And
is.
then you have to go buy the shield.
Yeah. So Valda's just super expensive, but hey, you know,
She's really fun.
I wouldn't keep on cracking MPG packs until I get something good. You know, why not?
They can get some fearless confrontations.
Yep, that was in this. And
Probably
Fearless Confrontations, let's talk about that because that helped out a lot of decks.
Gravy.
No, I'm just joking. It helped out one deck, and that was Gravy Bones.
Yeah, no, this card, it's a blue block free, has some other stat lines. More importantly, it says instant, discard this, target attack gets -1, and then it says some other stuff that doesn't matter.
Yeah, the target that gets -1. So go figure that this, in conjunction with your Sawbones, in conjunction with your Chom, is pretty damn good to keep your cards alive. Your
Yeah, you know how
allies
awful
alive.
it feels to just go like, all right, swing 7 at Whaler. And it's like, okay, discard a fearless.
Yeah. Like a lot of decks can't even get up to 7. I know Brutes don't have a problem with that, but still, it's like you're still devoting a lot of resources. There was another blue card in the expansion slot that was pretty good. It helped out the Rune Blades in some ways. Look, it did banish one card, discard the other. Do you remember it? It's a 3-cost blue attack. Oh man,
What are you talking about?
it was in the set. I think it's going to be a good card eventually. Right?
There was no like expansion slot. There was an expansion slot, but it was just for the legendaries in this.
Well, it was next to Fearless Confrontation. It was Fearless Confrontation and something else.
Captain of the Guard?
Not
Or
Captain
Call
of
for
the
Backup. Oh, you're talking about Call for Backup?
Yes, that's the one.
Yeah, no, this card
Thank you,
was
thank you.
actually really sick. And was it Chain and Living Legend? Because every turn you just banish like the top few cards of your deck with your Soul Shackles. So like this, you just be like, yeah, block 2. Next turn, I'm just gonna hit all my Soul Shackles. And then it's a 7 for so like against Illusionist, it works as a popper.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you also seen some plays with this in the more clash-based Guardians. So I've seen some Victor lists or Pleiades lists too, actually, having fun with this card.
Yeah, and you know what I also think about this card?
What do
Yeah,
you think of this card?
you don't need Rootbound Carapace. You could just play 3 call for backups.
Oh yeah, no, what was it? Calling Seattle, actually. We saw in that top 4 game with Simon Nielsen versus, I think it was Zach Miller.
Okay.
Don't quote me on his last name. He just beat me in top 8, so I have to dislike him. Clearly, even though he's a very fine person that I enjoyed. Yeah, like you saw him like do some insane like work with this card against Prism. His like entire sideboard was free call for backup, and then all like 7 power poppers with different names, so you could grab them and call for backup.
Interesting. So that's how you beat the Prism as a KO? Or I'm sorry, Kano?
Yeah, it was
That's
like
crazy.
a very interesting top 4 game, and then you watch the finals, and you're like, "Wow, this guy sucks at his deck." It was like amazing.
Oh man, I didn't realize it was the call for backup. That's crazy. All right, so not much to talk about Master Pack Guardian. Actually, I'll say one thing. Tommy actually described this set the best. He's like, this is the only set that you spend $2,000 and you might be able to break even on the set, but you have to spend $2,000 on it. And I kind of agree with it because the pull rates are so absolute garbage, but when you pull hot, it kind of pays for 4 or 5 boxes.
Yeah,
right?
What's nice too is a lot of stores are just like selling this at cost to get rid of it.
Dude, I would totally buy them at cost. I mean, I love it.
Positive EV at cost. It's great.
At cost. Here's a question. We have 2 more of these coming out in the next year. Do you like that? Do you want to see more of them or fewer?
If they've learned from their mistakes, which LSS told Brian Gottlieb told me he learned from the mistakes.
Okay.
Now, Brian Gottlieb has told me many things that turned out to be false. So I have trust issues with him. And I imagine that he has trust issues with me too, because We've talked once ever, and I didn't even know who he was, and I shit talked Vincent the entire time. And afterwards, dudes was like, you know that like he's the guy that created Vincent, right? I'm like, nope, didn't at all.
That is so funny, dude. Oh man, I like Vincent. I have a Vincent deck.
I love Vincent too.
Yeah, actually, you're the one that taught me how to play Vincent and how
Yeah, like
bad I
I
played at
love
Vincent.
Vincent. The deck is just awful.
Yeah, it has a lot of issues, but I guess it's a fair deck for it being so busted and not busted the same way. Just block
Yeah,
her
no,
out.
like yeah, like when you play like Viscerai, like that deck, requires you to fight it a lot of the time, but it rewards you really well whenever you like master it and actually do well with it. With
Yeah.
Vincent, you like master it and do really well to it, and like you still just draw a hand of 4 like non-attacks against Syndra and lose the game on the spot.
So I always said Vincent was a brute adjacent hero because it really does brick really hard sometimes. It just treats you so bad. All right, so Master Pack Guardian. Well, let's rate high C's. I forgot to do that first. What would you give
High
high
Seas
C's?
is like actually a 5 out of 5. Literally, my only
Excellent.
complaint about the set is Golden Tipple not being majestic.
That's fair. And then I do like how Scurv kind of stowed away. I still think that was tongue-in-cheek the best hidden joke the LSS did, other than the Romping Club swinging for 4 and it being a golf club. I think that's hilarious as shit.
You ever
All right.
realize that most of the hero names are puns?
Yeah, I do realize that. All right, let's talk about Master Pack Guardian. What would you rate this set out of 5?
Oh, 1 out of 5. This is probably the worst set in the history of the game.
It did bring us some interesting cards, though. The Peck Perfect, using my body as a model. It got us the boots, the Stone Mountain boots, whatever you call them.
Base of the mountain.
There you go. Base of the mountain. Right? Yeah, I'm scrambling here. They had some of the prettiest cards you've seen in a set, right? Seismic Surge Marvels.
Yeah.
Okay, so 1 out of 5.
Yeah, 1 out of 5. Like, I would give this 0 out of 5. Like,
the
limited environment also sucked. And, like,
dude,
right now
I thought it would be better, man. I really did it, but it was really straight up Valda versus Valda. I was like, anyways, yeah.
Yeah, those yellow 4-bot Clash cards are making Silver Age awful right now, too, because it's just like Guardian decks are just 24 block piles.
Oh my gosh. So, yeah, I would say Master Pack Guardian, I would give it 1 out of 5 as well. With caveat, when I go to Armory and I pick up my packs, I still go for this deck. I still go for these packs. I don't need any cards from any other set, but I need cards from this goddamn set, dude. Right? Because ultimately, I'm a collector, and I need a play set of the cards for the classes I like to play. And I still want some of the more, like, Jarl was in this set, right? The Marvel Jarl. Right? And that's a $500 card, dude. I can't afford that crap. So I need to pull it.
Yeah, I gotta spend $600 on packs so I can afford a Marvel Jarl.
All right, let's move on to the next one. So that came out in August. Very next month, September 2025, we came out with Super Slam. Now, when they announced the set, I was super down on it. I think the whole community was overall kind of down on it. They didn't like the wrestling vibe. Like, we heard Deathmatch Arena return to, we're thinking, oh, heavy hitters coming back. But then there was like the wrestling theme was like, all right. But when they started talking about the cards and the heroes, we're like, oh, this is pretty good. And then we talked about the expansion slots. We're like, oh, this is good. All right. What's your thoughts on this, man?
Yeah, like, I think that this set was, like, pretty good, but could have been better.
Okay. And this one gave us Lyeth, Pleiades, RKO, Reviled KO, Tough Nut. I know the heroes didn't shake up the meta, and a lot of people were looking for a set release to shake up the meta because it was still the top 3 decks. It was Syndra, Verdant, Gravy Bones. They kind of cemented themselves at the top, and these kind of gatekeeped a lot of different decks out. The sideboard slots were really restrictive. You couldn't really sideboard in for all 3. You had to kind of choose your victim or choose your target. And this came out, and the only one that was really very effective was RKO.
Yeah, right? I think RKO, they actually did a very good job designing a hero that's like very nice out of the gate. Does something really cool that's unique from the other heroes because due to the way his hero works, his cost curve is based around playing a bunch of lines that cost 4. And that's like no other Flesh and Blood hero does that. Normally, like a card costed 4 in a Flesh and Blood deck, we're like, oh, that card is probably bad. But when RKO does it, you're like, oh my god, it's so cool. He pulled the Command and Conquer. He played a Mocking Blow and made it come in for 10.
Yeah. And he was the first Marvel I ever pulled in this game. That I actually truly pulled from a pack. So he is my new main deck. Whenever things settle down, I can actually learn the damn hero. I mean, Super Slam came out, and we had a lot of pretty good cards. Nothing that really like we the Brutes ate good. They got their second swing big,
Yeah,
right?
Show of Strength is a super cool card. And Reckless Stampede as well, for that matter.
Yeah. And so like the Brute players, like we really thought KO Armed and Dangerous was going to go top of the meta, but he
Turns
still
out
was.
Gravy is good.
Gravy still definitely stops him. And then Reckless Stampede is a fun card.
Yeah, no, like Reckless Stampede is like one of my favorite designs of the year.
Yeah.
Like it's such a high power card that like is so like you need to build your deck in a certain way for this card to not punish you.
Yep. And I killed myself with Reckless Stampede playing it against.
Was it Pleiades?
No, it was Ning's Puffin, and he had that one block card.
Oh, Golden Skywarden. Yeah, like every card in your deck was a 6, and you're like,
Dude, he Golden Skywarden me. I was like, look, we were both at one life. I can't be mad at him for that. He earned that kill. But I Reckless Stampeded myself to death, so it's kind of funny. So, yeah, you had a lot of powerful cards here, and they brought back the Super Rares. I didn't think the Super Rares really did anything special, right?
I think the Super Rares in general were the opposite of good.
Yeah, I mean, is there any Super Rares that were great? I don't.
There were Super Rares that were like actually good. Like
I know Tough Nut had a lot of good Super Rares. Not that Tough Nut itself is super playable at this moment,
like,
but
we had Steel Victory and Big Bully for RKO are really good cards.
let's talk about this one.
Oh, Steel
Jesus,
Victory.
Steel Victory. What a good card.
This is an insane blue card. Like
this is fantastically well designed. All right.
Yeah, like this is just like a 5 value blue, but only on defense.
Yep. And if you could use it, fantastic. They also give us Overcrowded, which is, I scooped this up when it was $12 pop. I still think that was good still. Thank you, Andrew, for that.
Maybe they're even cheaper now.
Hey, you can't risk it. They went up to $20 for a second.
Yeah, during ProQuest season, they were like insane, and now they're like in the $7 range, I think.
Yeah.
But like,
so get your playset. I think.
legitimately buy your Overcrowdeds now.
Yeah. What else did the set give us that was pretty good?
Warmonger's Diplomacy reprint.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, also, it took a $80 card and a $60 card and dropped it down to pennies. $5 and $3.
Plowunder.
And what was the other one?
Falling of the Crown.
Yep. Single-handedly took those reprints and so Warmongers. This is good alternate art too. All the new heroes are here except for Tough Nut, but you're assuming that he is just the table.
Wait, RKO's in there?
RKO's not in there, huh?
Yeah, no, it's just the Guardians.
Bastards. No
it's just Baby Rage, Lyeth, and Pleiades being Pleiades, I guess.
Yeah.
I have no idea why they'd be like doing anything diplomatic. They're like wrestlers.
There you go. And then so what's some other ones that came out in this set that was pretty good?
Oh, Light of Leaves single-handedly reinvigorating Verdance after the Bloom ban.
Yep. In fact, it had to do the BNR on the Bloom ban just because they were releasing Light Up the Leaves.
Yeah, no, this card in conjunction with Plume of Evergrowth would have been absolutely insane. Being able to have your all blue hands still do 9 damage on the kill turn.
Yeah.
Is insane.
So,
and then of course the instant discard this in an Earth card, prevent the next 6 arcane that target source would deal. Really annoying as an Acilio player.
Did Acilio get anything this set? I don't think he did, right?
No. Yeah, it was the last set where he got, not last set, High Seas, where he got the Consigned Cosmos that really made him a real deck.
And we'll mention that real quick, just Consigned Cosmos and Shock. It was also another Shock card, which is always good when you shock someone on their turn to kill them. How many times has that happened?
Yeah, no, this is just like one of the best cards in Acilio, hands down.
I know. What's that?
Oh, Catch of the Day was also an insane card.
Now, Catch of the Day. Right? Yep. I remember
Yeah,
this.
this is the blue Pirate Ranger block free, 0 cost. Next air attack, it's +2. If the Go Fish effect would trigger this turn instead of triggers twice, go again.
So, do you think Marlin would have been a playable hero if she still had the golden tipples and catch of the day?
Not currently.
Yeah,
The issue with her is that she just like loses to defense reactions.
yeah, yeah. So, yeah. All right. So that's Super Slam. Overall, limited set was a little interesting because it was no weapons allowed, a lot of fatigue. People like were high going to Tough Nut. I went with Lyeth because it was still like fun to, swing a 20 attack at someone. Pleiades was pretty good. RKO, I'm not sure if he was really sealed material, but like the no
No,
weapons
he was
thing
good and sealed.
was he? I guess I never pulled a good RKO sealed, but so this set, what do you think, man? Rating it out of 5.
Yeah, I'm good for that 5. This is like a very middle of the road set. Like the heroes are fun. The limited environment is like fun to play, but like only for like the first 10 times. And then it starts being really painful.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it didn't shake up the meta, except it did help brutes out. Like it really did make,
I think it handedly made original KO like a real deck again.
Yeah, I agree.
And like we saw some good success with
Well,
Worlds with it too.
There's also with RKO, he got another swing big version, and I'm trying to remember the name.
Big Bully.
Big Bully. Thank you.
This is super rare.
Oh, it's so weird to think about this as a super rare too, but I guess it makes sense. Yeah, isn't it you in face paint? Did they take your likeness and put face paint on you? I think that's you, man. That's glue all over.
This is for Riptide.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah, that looks more like Evan to me in face paint.
With face paint? I guess we can. Yep, there.
It works perfectly.
It's so good, dude.
Suck for anyone who's audio only.
Yo, we're going to just keep this going for the next year. By the way, we're going to randomly put these pictures in here. It's great. All right, so, Super Slam. Overall, 3 out of 5. I agree. I think the limited environment kind of held it back. I like the heroes a lot. I think the heroes out at the gate didn't shake up the meta, but I think they were all kind of fair heroes in their own right. I think they will have room to grow into. Like, I really like the potential of Tough Nut. Like, him being able to use Rock consistently, or even building a deck to even use Romping Club or any one of those other cards. They had a lot of great cards. Pleiades is interesting as hell, right? She might not be fantastic, but they introduced the instant auras that with the suspense counters and confidence, right? And that's all that's from the set. So I think this has good potential, right? And Lyeth is the first 5 intellect hero. He's like 1 or 2 cards away from being absolutely a terror.
Yeah, no, I think that like the assistance mechanic in general was actually like really cool. And like it just needs like a little bit, like it actually solved an issue with the Guardian class, which was like there was just no hand extension in the class.
Mm-hmm.
And like that just solved it.
And so, I mean, it really does think like, even though the heroes didn't shake up the meta like we wanted, I think the set itself really did. So I gave it a little bit higher. I didn't give it 3 out of 5 because of those mechanics mentioned. I mean, confidence alone I really liked, and I really like this style design of these heroes. I gave it a little bit higher. But all right, so that's the set releases. Pretty overall, I think a pretty good year. I was still hyped on it. Let's talk about the Armory decks. This is a little bit more polarizing, and we can kind of go through this kind of quickly. We started doing actually Armory deck reviews on this channel, starting with the Aurora deck, and then we kind of moved through. So we missed Aurora, Max, and Gravy Bones, but with everything else, actually, I think Evan refused to do Gravy Bones.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
But we did the Aurora, Pleiades, Rhino, Arachne, and I think it was fun. I think we did the initial review, how we kind of tweaked, and then we kind of brought people back on, seeing how they were still working on it. I think that went really well. All right, let's talk about the Aurora Armory deck real quick. It came out March 2025. All right, first Armory deck release of the year. Thoughts?
I think for the most part, it was pretty good, but they messed up. For those of you who don't know, the card Skyward Serenade. Will could pull this up for me to read to the rest of the class here.
Oh, I would love to.
I can talk about this design mistake here. So it's a yellow 0-cost 2-block non-attack with Lightning Runeblade action too. With Choose 2, you can either create an embodiment of Lightning token, or search your deck for a Skizzik, banish it, then shuffle. You may play it this turn, or your next attack this turn gets +1.
And then
go again. And Skizzik is a Red, free block, 0 cost. With if this has go again, this gets +1. It comes in for free. It's a lightning attack.
So this is even better than the head jab because it's really coming in for probably 4 and it blocks 3 regardless.
Well, yeah, but it doesn't have go again inherently, so
Yes.
that's the downside. But Skyward Serenade, on the other hand, you'll know it has go again.
Yeah.
So it's a yellow 0 for 4 of go again.
So wasn't one of the contentions with this particular card was that go again was supposed to be a bullet point?
Yeah, it was supposed to be that one of the modes was go again. And like it was supposed to be that like you would give this go again using arc lightning in the armory deck, and it'd be a really cool moment for the player. And you know, any normal company would not tell you this fact, and they would take it to their grave. And instead, James White's really like, "Hi guys, I'm a gamer. I'm James White. And Skyward Serenade. Yeah, go again was gonna be a mode." It's like James. It's like you can see Brian Golly be like, "James, shut up! Stop telling them that."
It's like kicking him under the table. James, and then people went livid ape shit crazy when they heard this. Hey, dude, I remember. Like, well, here's the thing. LSS, I'd rather have them over communicate because I still respect them as a company, respect them as developers, respect them as players. You know, I can't chill out enough about how much I actually like this company.
Yeah,
but yeah, that shit. Oh my goodness, dude.
Yeah, I'm happy they like told me that. But
Yeah.
like, as somebody that like, you know, wants the game to succeed, I'm like, James, that's really stupid. Why did you admit that?
And here's the thing about this though. The Aurora Armory deck single-handedly, I think, took and made Aurora readily available for a lot of players. Which Runeblades, historically hard to kind of get into sometimes, but we get it, right? But they made this so accessible that she just held lightning quick, and I meant to say it like that. She was gone in a flash. I could keep on going all day with these, right? But yeah, so she was gone, right? Aurora Armory deck. So out of the box, I think this is a really strong Armory deck.
Yeah, this is like one of like the most like fun to just play out of the Armory deck. Well, out
Yep.
of the box Armory decks they've done.
I say 5 out of 5 on this one.
Yeah, I put it at 4 out of 5 because of that little oopsie daisy.
That's why I gave it 5 out of 5.
You know how like annoying that is as a competitive player to just be like, wow, I have to play this deck because
you
somebody proofread a bullet point.
Dude, look, I totally forgot about that. I'm so glad you mentioned it because when you brought that back, I remember thinking, I was driving my car, I swear, I was like, oh shit, right, why do you say that? Right? So funny, man. All right, let's talk about the next one.
Oh,
Max Nitro Armory deck came out in April 2025. Whew. What? Have you heard about anything about this deck or Max itself? Do you remember what's in this deck?
Yeah, so there's a copy of Heist that they reprinted in this deck. There's one copy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's currently on TCG Player for $22.46. So if you ever see a Max Nitro Armory deck on clearance for less than that, it is positive EV to buy the box, rip it apart, and sell the Heist.
Yeah, I will say
that's the most noteworthy part of the deck.
Max Nitro isn't bad. Okay, let me rephrase this before you lose your shit. All right, Max Nitro is bad, but he caught a lot of strays from the like bannings and restrictions and all the other stuff, and he's like maybe 3 cards away from doing something great. Because when they banned the card for Dash IO, or I can't remember what's that?
High Octane.
High Octane, and he was a High Octane deck, right?
Yeah, no, he was like the best High Octane deck.
Right.
High Octane here. Red free block, 1 cost mechanologist action. Whenever you boost a card this turn, gain 1 action point. And then it just says draw a card because why not? And go again.
So, yeah. Oh, look, they even had a wrench in the picture. Go figure that. I know it's a picture of Dash, but it's all about the wrench.
Yeah, I mean, right? Yeah, we only had Dash back then. There was only 1 mechanologist. No Tech Daddy.
Yeah. I'll tell you now, they also, in this deck, printed out Clamp. I don't know why I brought this up, but I thought it was kind of fun.
Yeah, they had like this really pointless wrench support. That's really cool LSS, but every Max player wants to construct Nitro Mechanoid and swing it like 4 or 5 times in 1 turn off the back of High Octane.
But it's okay. They try to go the wrench route. I get that. But I don't feel like they gave it enough support in the set. They still made him a freaking trying to bring up his hero power because they really lean to his.
Hyperdrivers.
Thank you,
Yeah.
hyperdrivers. So yeah, I think this is. What would you rate this deck before we move on to the next one?
Yeah, this is like 1 out of 5. This is probably the worst Armory deck in the history of the game, and like I wouldn't be surprised if that stays true for a decade.
I agree. Unless they give some serious support later to really enforce the hyperdrivers and the wrench play, I just don't see this deck being great. All right, Gravy Bones Armory Deck, May 2025. This came out in conjunction with the High Seas release. It came out actually the week before, right? So you could play this. You could buy the Gravy Bones Armory Deck at the pre-release and then have fun with it. What do you think about this?
Yeah, so the big ones in this one is it had Sawbones Deckhand. This guy is a 6/2 Pirate Necromancer ally, yellow 2 cost. You can pay 1, tap, and attack with him, or you can, as an instant, tap into, say, the next time you are a pirate you control would be dealt damage this turn, prevent 1 of that damage. And yeah, Shum is like very clearly the best ally, but this is like the second best ally.
Oh, 100%.
This guy is insane.
This is the reason why you buy the Armory deck, right? I mean, is there another reason?
Loot the Hold's in this deck as well.
Oh, Loot the Hold. No kidding.
Yeah, pull up Loot the Hold. It's also in gem pack free nowadays, so like it's pretty easy to just Armory and be like, anybody got a Loot the Hold and like get one?
Yeah. I didn't realize that this only came out in the Armory deck and the gem packs. But yeah, there you go.
Blue free black 0 cost Pirate Necromancer action. Your next pirate ally attack this turn gets, when this hits a hero, if they discard a card. If they do, create a gold token and has go again.
Yeah. So let's rate this deck. I mean, if you could take your vehemence and put it aside, what would you rate this for any player coming into the game?
Oh, this is 5 out of 5. This is like actually a fantastic Armory deck. I think every Armory deck should be like this.
Okay, I agree. I think this is a great deck. You got people into it. You gave them relevant cards that you absolutely needed. It played toward its game plan. You had the basic come, so even if you weren't able to join the pre-release or you buy a lot of high seas, you can always buy this and then fill out the rest of your deck with other cards.
Yeah, it's like pretty easy to just buy this deck, go spend your $20 on a Dead Freds and however much a hook is.
Yeah.
And like just play Gravy at an Armory level and like not feel like you're not trying at all.
Yeah. All right. Next set, our Armor deck came out in July 2025. This brought in the Vengeance lines. All right.
Yeah.
And the Edge of Autumn play, right? We got more Edge of Autumn support, more Vengeance lines. Seek Vengeance was in this one as well, both red and blue. Thoughts?
We also had, Vengeance Never Rests and a Legacy of Ikaru, along with the Okana Scar Wrap support.
We also got the Okana Scar Wraps, which isn't like
a really cool design, actually. Like this created like a Ira variant, for lack of a better description, and it's like, I know Evan's going to be angry if I say this, but it's great because he told me that he doesn't even watch these episodes. So, like, we should talk him all we want. Dude. I know. Can you believe that he wouldn't watch a podcast that he's on?
Well, that's in his defense, right? I listen to these like multiple times throughout the week, but that's also because I want to make sure the audio's good, content's good, flow's good. But if he's already been through it, it's hard for him to listen again. I get it.
Yeah, like you think I watch the episodes I'm on? I don't. But
Man, I'm gonna have to start. You guys should play this in the background, help the algorithm. Yeah. To our listeners, don't forget to subscribe as well.
Yeah. Also like the video.
Yeah. There you go. So Okana Scar Wraps. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I believe it was Pro Tour Singapore. I think it was only top 16. I can't remember what the exact placement was. Tennessee player Naeem Bobasir piloted Edge of Autumn Ira to like top 16 at Pro Tour Singapore. And like you look at the deck and you're like, how? This is the worst deck I've ever seen. Why is it winning games? And like all it's doing is just swinging Edge of Autumn and playing a 2-cost attack afterwards. And the answer was it could fatigue Gravy Bones pretty consistently. Hold on, let me get my fingers up here. It could fatigue Verdants that didn't know that it was supposed to sideboard the potion combo into them. And then it absolutely dumpstered Syndra because of the way the deck was designed. Because it kept being like, okay, my turn. 1, erase space for 7.
Yep. So it's funny you mentioned that because I was thinking for the Artenian season, Ira was a second option I was playing with. I was not sure if I was going to do it. KO's LLing faster than, I want
Yeah.
to see my boy off. But that I was thinking Ira was a really good meta pick, even though with those guys decks getting kind of nerfed. The weakest link alone is pretty good in Ira
Uh,
deck.
the issue with Ira right now is Kasai is currently like a deck to beat, and
Yeah,
you do
yeah,
not want to have your Kodachi blocked by Valiant Dynamo every turn of a 15 turn game.
yeah. That's true. That's true. Legacy of Ikaru is blue block 3, 0 cost, target ninja tech it's +1, and when this hits, if edge item is the last card, tech this comment chain, draw a card. Seems pretty good. And it's a ninja tech reaction. Can't
Yeah, you
complain
read
about
that
that.
and you're like, oh, the Edge of Autumn text is really good because it's a blue that says draw a card. No,
Yeah,
you just play it because it says Sergeant Ninja attack gets +1.
yeah.
And what that means is that, like, you pitch it to your harmonized Kodachis if you're playing like that variant.
Mhm.
And every time you're posing Kodachi for one, you're like, if the last two cards in this guy's hand are like two legacies or like throwing like a nip at the heels, I'm just dead.
Hmm.
And you can't really play around it.
There
Like
you
the way
go.
to play around it is you kill them before
Yeah.
it comes up.
All right. So rating this deck.
Yeah, no, like I think that this is another 5/5 Armory deck.
Okay. I thought it did introduce the Ira variant, as you said. I gave it 4/5 because I don't see a lot of people playing the Vengeance because the Kodachi play is so much better. Or not better, just it's so much more consistent than what we had. But you know, I would say 5/5 is probably more accurate because it did have a lot of strong cards in this, and it is playable with a few upgrades right outside of the Armory deck. So
Yeah, no, this is like if you're like a new player going up to like an Armory,
yeah.
and for whatever reason they have every Armory deck that was printed this year and nothing else. This is the one I recommend that you get and just play with.
Hmm.
If like you're just going to look for an Armory deck to play for an Armory,
Interesting.
with like no upgrades out of the box.
See, I was thinking about that with the next deck because
What's the
that would
next deck?
be the Pleiades Armory deck, September 2025. I really liked this Armory deck a lot. Like, I really liked it. It gave you powerful cards at the get go, including some powerful reprints that were high cost at the time, even if they gave you one of or two ofs. What's that blue
Yeah.
Guardian attack with the +1 dominate?
Altera Sunder. Then this also have like Spinal Crush, Boulder
Yep.
Drops.
Had the boulder drop, yep.
Yeah. And like those are just reprints. Although it had Red Boulder Drop, which that was the first time that card's actually been printed.
Yeah.
Like, Guardian players for a long time have been huffing all the copium, being like, bro, trust me, Boulder Drop Red. That's what Guardian's missing. And then it got printed, and the Guardian players went back to being like, bro, this bottle of liquor out of my hand. That's all Guardian's missing, I swear.
And so Boulder Drop Red was printed, and they had the Boulder Drop Blue. They also had some really good Pleiades cards here. Really like her Armory deck specific cards alone was enough to, I think, make her interesting. She had that blue card, her specialization tech. You get another turn afterwards if you set it up.
Oh yeah, Standing Ovation, the 6/8,
Yep,
because I've yet to see somebody actually pull off the text on that card.
of course, but it's a 6/8, right, and a 3 block blue. So that's why you're playing it.
Yeah,
Like
like
the text is blank
I'm
for all
like,
purposes.
yeah, like whenever like this card like got spoiled, I'm like, I'm gonna hate seeing this played against me. I know it's going to happen. I'm going
It's
to
so hard though.
yeah, and then like they like it definitely feels like what happened is LSS like was like designing Pleiades, and they're like, yo, this card's really cool, but really dangerous. And so they like held back a bit on her to keep this
Mhm.
card back.
Well, I think honestly, like I think Standing Ovation, I've seen it pulled off twice, right?
Ooh.
And they had to have Magical Christmas lined up, but it still happened. And it was pretty cool, right? They had the confidence token and everything else, right? Cool when you pull off, but it's really just a blue block 3 that's 8 power in case you go in the clash mechanics, or just a 6 cost 8 tag. So a lot of good reprints. This was truly save your money and get this instead of the Master Pack Guardian, and you would have been okay.
Yeah, we also have the attention grabbers, which are the arms for lineup.
Oh, you know what? So we had here, and you totally
Boots to
brought,
boards.
yeah, the boots too. The boots are really good. So attention grabbers is when this defense you may remove a suspense counter from an Ori control. If you do, this gets +2 defense. This chain link. It's blade break. It's 1 block. Attention grabbers, and the boots are called.
Boots to the boards.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's really weird name because it has a lot of S's in it that like would signify that it's plural. And you're like, I don't know if that's correct grammatically or not, man.
Well, boots. There's two of them on the board. I get boards. Okay, I kind of see what you're
But
saying.
yeah, you're like, if you think about it, it gets scary. So just don't think about it.
So the upside for Guardian players when you have this, it's first a temper 2, right? So it's not breaking after the first attack. It's
Yeah,
-1 counter.
in the leg slot too.
Yeah, in the leg slot in a Guardian. When this defends, you may pay up to 3 resources to create that many toughness tokens. So you're paying ahead, but potentially this could be what, like 3, 6, 8, 9 value.
Yeah, I remember earlier how I was talking about one of Guardian's biggest weaknesses is hand extension.
Yep.
So this could be like, whenever your opponent's like, oh, I'm just gonna block on down on like your Spinal Crush, send a snatch. Be like, all right, you have to block this snatch, or else I get an arsenal to come at you with a 5-card hand next. And you're like, oh, cool, I can block with my boots and like a free block, and then I'll pay 3 into this boots to the boards, create free toughness tokens. I'll then swing my Titan's Fist for 4, arsenal my sink below, and like, yeah, that's just a good turn.
Yeah. It's a clean hand. You got great value on that. Oh my gosh, what's the value on that? Too high. All right, but that's what Guardians needed. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
All right. So put down the liquor bottle, as Andrew said, and get your boots to the board.
Yeah, wait until after the game to drink.
Yeah, boots to the boards, I should say. It's like stubby hammerers. It's hammerers. Right? There's additional ER at the end of that card.
Yeah, multiple hammerers, bro. Yeah, bro.
It's like how I normally talk. I just gotta say it normally. Stubby hammerers.
Yeah, just talk like the Charlie Brown teacher.
All right, what would you rate this?
I give it 4 out of 5. Like, I think the deck itself is like really fun and like well maintained on its own, but I think that like the power level of the deck out of the box, it's not something I'd recommend bringing to an armory level.
Okay, I think your metric of how to measure these and how to score them is probably fairly more accurate. For me, it was more like the warm fuzzies I feel when I open up the box to see what I'm getting.
Warm fuzzies are important.
But I think your definition of, hey, is this good out of the box to play in the armory, and how much upgrade I need to make it very compatible. Yeah.
Competitive.
Thank you. I think that's a good metric to have. So let's bring us to the next one.
Yeah,
Rhinar Armory Deck, November 2025.
Yeah. I think there was a card named Smell Fear. I don't know what it does, and that's it.
Okay. I will say a couple things. We got the yellow Smell Fear and the blue Smell Fear. This is a beat chest Rhinar deck.
I didn't know this came in more than one color.
You only really see the blue ones, and that's probably because I'm the one playing it. It's still a blue block 3 for Rhinar. It also gave us Alpha Rampage, which, how many years have, not Alpha Rampage.
Alpha Rampage is the OG.
Yeah, the red one. It is the blue 6 attack 0 block. Discard, beat chest. Let me just bring
Alpha Instinct.
That's it.
There we go.
Alpha Instinct.
Yeah, the blue 6/0 block Rhinar specialization. When this is discarded to beat chest, create a might token.
It's still blue 6. I wish it blocked 3. It did not, but you can't have it perfect always. But I think, this really helps. And it helped. All right, but let me tell you, there's also another card I want to give a shout out to, because this is what I've been playing in my upgraded Rhinar deck. And I was super low on this card initially, right? But I realized after playing it, it has potential, a lot more potential than I gave it credit for. Now, we're not going to talk about some of the cards here. Where is it? This one. Bear Destruction. So, this is red pitch, 2 cost, 6 attack power, 3 block, beat chest. When this attacks, if you beat in chest this turn and you don't control chest equipment, this gets go again, and the next brute attack action card you play this turn gets +2 power. This is a lot better than people gave it credit for. I've been actually pitting this in my main board Rhinar deck because it is a nice little extension, and it kind of helps the next power attack too. It comes out of nowhere, and so it could be like a pseudo Blood Rush Bellows turn. It's not as good as Blood Rush, but it's still another power card. So you can break Sash, have this card in hand or arsenal, and actually pull off. You can also team this with a Beast Within and really be able to be at some positive swing claws. So it actually does his main gameplay if you don't solely focus on the beat chest mechanic and just splice a few of those beat chest mechanics in. I think it does a lot better. I've been playing around with it. It's been pretty good. It's a lot better, but out of the deck box, what would you rate it?
I put it like a 3 out of 5. Like, it'll do cool things with this deck,
Yeah.
but like I will laugh at you probably once per game just because of some awful turn that this deck will produce.
This deck will have the highest evasive damage. Like you have no cards in your hand, and this will swing at you for 16 for one turn of the game. And then
Yeah,
after that, it
every
just
other turn.
craps. After that, it just craps out the rest of the way. So you have to block and send your Romping Club, block and send something each turn of the game to get your opponent down to less than 16 life, or power turn it off when everything lines up and swing for that, no card in their hand, 16 pure damage, and then hope that it's enough to kill them. It's very hard to pull off, and not very strong.
This deck is like so weak against players that know how to block.
Yeah.
Because a lot of your turns are, I will swing 4 or 6 and pray my opponent doesn't block so I can burst them to death.
Yep. Yeah, so it has some strong cards, but it's more, I think, out of the box. It needs a lot of help. Not as bad as the Max Armory deck, but fun fact: I think the person that designed the Max Nitro Armory deck also designed the Rhino Armory deck.
Oh, I did a much better job with this one. I
So
definitely give him like most improved of the year.
All right, let's talk about the last one, December 2025. Arachne slipped through the cracks. Introduced a lot of great mechanics. Introduced some really cool equipment. Like we just recently had a conversation about this. Go ahead and check out that Armory Deck review. Anything special mention you want to mention to this?
Stalker's Steps. In particular, this is a card that's seen play in Arachne marionette decks.
What, spell that again?
Stalker.
Stalker.
Apostrophe S space steps. Yes, steppies.
Yeah.
That's some really cool art.
Yeah. So destroy this, target attack with Stealth gets Gogan, Arcane Barrier 1. Yeah, it's a rare too, so it's the best boots and Sage.
Like, yeah, it's like very clear. This is like, actually, maybe that like the Rhinar deck was like the first one that was designed with Silver Age in mind, like at all. But this is very clearly to me like the first Armory deck that actually feels like they were like actively making cards with the idea of like, oh, this will help this hero out in Silver Age.
There's also a really cool card in the Slippy Armory deck, Horrors of the Past. There's a lot of niche interactions with this card, but this is a really strong card. And that's both for Mario and Slippy.
Yeah, no, this card with Take Up the Mantle is like so fun. And I'm so happy they put them in the same Armory deck so a new player can, without fail, ask what happened. Every single time.
So, why do you explain the interaction? So, Horrors of the Past is yellow pitch, 0 cost, 2 power, 3 block, stealth. When this attacks, it gets the base abilities of the last attack card with stealth you control on the combat chain. And the Take Up the Mantle is a loving card from the Hunted, reprinted in this set. Yellow pitch, 0 cost, 3 block, assassin attack reaction. This is a long text box, but target attack action card with stealth gets plus 2 power. If it's attacking a marked hero, instead it gets plus 3. And you may banish an attack action card with stealth from your graveyard. If you do, the target becomes a copy of this banished card. So what's interaction?
So, Horrors of the Past says...
And for our listeners, sorry, Andrew, he's saying horrors, not whores.
Yeah, sure. Anyway, so Horrors of the Past. When this attacks, it gets the base ability to the last attack action card. Actually, it's very important distinction there. But anyway... So what that means is that's a triggered ability that creates a replacement effect, which is very nerdy talk for saying it just happened. And then Take Up the Mantle makes the Horrors of the Past a copy of whatever attack you banish. And so what that means is that the attack on the combat chain is a copy, and it has an effect stating this has the effects of the last like attack action card with stealth you control in the combat chain. And so let's say, for example, you go Red Infect, just a simple, basic bread and butter stealth attack. 0 for free. When this hits a hero, create a Blood Rat Pox token under their control. And then next, you play your Horrors of the Past. And so like in reactions, you somehow mark your opponent, and then you play your Take Up the Mantle. So... that the Take Up the Mantle does is, let's say, what's a fun stealth attack to copy. Let's go with Mark of the Black Widow, because that's something you'd want to turn into whenever you're attacking a marked hero. So what that means is this becomes an attack for 6, because you have the +3 from the Take Up the Mantle and the free from the base power of the Mark of the Black Widow, with the additional effect of when this hits a hero, create a Bloodpox token under their control. And it still has the when this hits a marked hero, they banish a card from their hand text. Yeah, this is really unintuitive. But I played Slippy for like 1 calling, so I know this.
All right. So that's a really niche interaction, but it's a really strong one. And I think it does reward players for, I guess, playing the deck a bit more and knowing how the gameplay works. I know they were geeking out in the Assassin Armory Deck review when we were talking about this, and it was from examples like that of how it kind of interacts and how interesting that interaction is. So from a power perspective, what would you rate this then? Like how you've been doing it?
Oh, from power?
Yeah, like you crack this open, you're in the armory. What would you rate this?
Yeah, like I think like this is like another one of those like 3 out of 5 ones. It's very middle of the road.
Mm-hmm.
Big thing I like about this one is it has a Hunter's Clave in it.
Yep.
Like if you're trying to fully upgrade your Slippy deck, you need like a Hunter's Clave. Well, you need 2 Hunter's Claves at least. And so having access to at least 1 is a great start. Super Slam has made it so Flick Knives is very affordable right now. Like, hold on, let me just pull up the price on it. Yeah, you can get Flick Knives for like $18 right now.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, considering this card was like over 100, I'm pretty sure at some point this year.
It's funny pretty good. The Hunter's Clave itself is still a $12 card too. So, you know, you get high value from this Armory deck alone, just from the Majestics that are in here. So
yeah, and what is funny is that like all of like the good assassin cards from the Hunted have just like spiked recently.
Yeah. Check out Persuasive Prognosis.
Oh, bro, forget that Tarantula Toxin's hilarious.
What's Tarantula Toxin at?
Let me pull it up.
And I'm gonna pull that up so that our guests can see it too.
Okay, so there's one listing for like $7, and then every other listing is like $18.
Oh my goodness! And Tarantula Toxin was a very low card at first. It was 0 cost, red pitch, 3 block assassin attack reaction. Choose 1 or both. Target dagger gets +3 power, or target card defending attack with stealth gets -3 defense this turn. So yeah, this is now a $20 card. Jesus, seems pretty good. So thank you, Slippery Armory Deck and its brother Mario. I should probably sell some assassin cards that I think about it. I got so many cards.
No, like Pain on the Backside, Saber Bloodshed, like they went to the moon.
Jeez. Yeah, so assassin players, I'm telling you now, maybe that's why I'll probably give it lower than 3 out of 5, because to upgrade this deck to be fully tuned, like at an Armory deck, sure, it might be doing some fun things, but man, talk about hit your wallet, it does not make me feel good, right? If you're already an assassin player, you got a lot of the assassin staples. Sure. Yeah, but man, this is like $1,000 deck right here, man. I wouldn't say it's $1,000, but it's expensive.
Yeah, like you don't need to get like Tunic for this deck, which helps a lot with its like price. Like you can use the Armory Deck headpiece. Like it's completely fine to play with at like an actual competitive level.
Yeah. So, all right. So 3 out of 5, I agree. Last thing, big thing they announced recently before the probably 3 months ago, but everyone's been hyped on it. Silver Age announcement coming out February 13th, 14th, with the release of Compendium of Wraith. Wraith. Yeah. So hype is real. New players are interested in this. Their slogan, a $20 ticket to a $2 million prize pool, is very catchy. Old players returning because of this. What do you think about the hype of Silver Age so far? And then we can talk about like your actual feelings on this.
Oh, the hype is like really cool.
Yeah.
Sorry, I got distracted by the art on Tarantula Toxin. It looks really cool too. But anyway, yeah, so like the hype is like really fun right now, especially with like when you just have people like in your store. Like a lot of the time I'll be at a store playing an Armory and somebody will be like, "What is this game?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's a really cool game called Flesh and Blood." And if they're like, you know, a child or something, they're like, "That sounds scary." And I'm like, "Yeah, you should like leave us now, please. Get away from me, 8-year-old." But you know, if they're like, you know, somebody that's like a college student, like I'll actually like explain the game to them. They'll be like, that sounds really cool. And then like you talk to them about buying decks, and they're like, I have to spend more than $200 on a deck. I'm a college student. I'm just gonna go back to like playing Pokemon. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, honestly, don't blame you. Please don't go into debt to play trading card games.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's a very real thing. So I do think, and it solved a big issue, which is the bulk, right? I have so much
Yeah.
commons and rares saved up because you guys keep on throwing away. I was like, hey, don't throw that away. I'll take it, right? Because I have a plan for this bulk I've been collecting, right? Now, is the bulk worth anything? Probably still pennies on the dollar, but every so often you'll have a little gem in there, right? And so I'll still collect the bulk, still organize it in my boxes. And this bulk is now getting used because we don't know how their decks are going to be constructed, but we know that there's going to be individual cards in those decks that are unique to it. It's a $20 buy-in for that deck, and they're saying it's going to be competitive straight out the box. So theoretically, we could all crack open a Silver Age deck and play an Armory and have all fighting chance to make top 3 out of 0, 3-0, supposedly, right? Where it does reward skill. So I'd be interested in that. So yeah. Now, Andrew, what's your true opinion on Silver Age?
They started it too early. It like over and over again, they've like talked about being like, all right, guys, look, we know Chain's a problem because you know, welcome to Flesh and Blood. Chain's always a problem.
Whoever designed Chain should have designed my freaking Armory deck for Reinar. Jesus.
Oh, bro, I love this guy. Like, bro,
Actually,
my favorite
before I
hero.
even knew anything about Flesh and Blood, I was actually interested in Chain as far as all the heroes go. Just like who's cool looking.
Yeah, he is cool. Like I remember back in the day, like was it Calling Vegas, the guy who got second at that, Sebastian Cavallo. He was actually like a Georgia player, like living in like the Alpharetta Roswell area.
No kidding.
And yeah, he was like at one point like the most successful Chain player in the world.
Huh.
And we were like, why do you play Chain? And he's like, he looked like somebody I'd be friends with in high school, was his answer. They're like, you gotta be kidding me. That's really the answer.
Hey, sometimes it's who you vibe with, right? That's funny. Maybe not the adult Chain. Let's go to high school Chain, emo Chain.
Yeah, bro, like, look at him. Like
He looks like Snape, dude, from Harry Potter.
He's just misunderstood.
Lily, why did you leave me for James? Anyways, yeah, so your issue with Silver Age right now is Chain's overshadowing that format because he's just such a strong deck in format.
Yeah. There's like also an issue too where like a lot of classes just don't have good equipment, and that makes them a lot less good.
Yeah,
like
that makes sense. If you're supposed to start off at the strongest level when you first start the game, but all your equipment's dog shit, then pretty much you're starting out, at parity with everything else out there. There's no identity. Unless you're Runeblade.
Yeah, one of the decks in this format that's been successful so far is Decimator Great Axe Olympia, which is, you may be asking, why specifically Olympia? Doesn't Olympia have a better hero ability that works really well for Faction Bolters? But have you read Prize Galea? You don't have to. It just says 2 on the bottom right corner in Temper.
Like,
that's all you need to know.
Prize Galea, I was looking for the Cold War version. I finally got one. Thanks, Andrew, for trying to set me up with one, but I finally got one. And yeah, the text on this box is blank except for Temper 2. That's the only thing you need to know. All right?
Yeah, it's Olympia Specialization Temper.
Yeah, that's all. Who would have thought that one extra life in a format like this is so important? But yeah, it is, especially in the DGA build for Olympia, which I play. Yeah. So,
and then the other problem deck in this format are Oldhim or like Bravo Flattering Showman. They have like slightly different matchup spreads, but both are pretty big. And like all that matters about them is the fact that they say Guardian. So that means they get to play all the Clash cards from Mastery Pack Guardian. So, we got Clash of Heads, Chests, Arms, Legs, Shields.
Yeah.
So that's 10 4 blocks they get to play, exclusive to the Guardian class, alongside Crash and Bash as well. So that's like, 12? And then they have On the Horizon for another 4, and then they get to play Test of Might,
and
Test of Strength.
Really, you're just playing this for the 4 block, because this doesn't matter about when this defends a Guardian attack.
Yeah.
You're not, it's great if it does, but you're just using this for a 4 block?
Yeah. Yeah, and so literally it is 20 different cards that block 4.
Oh
Yeah,
shit.
how off like so at Seattle, I'm like at the airport and we get there like 2 hours early just because like our flight's really late and we're like, all right, there's nothing better to do. And so when we get there, there's like a bunch of like the West Coast players. And so like I remember Alexander Vore just in this like airport being like, bro, I figured it out. Oldhim beats Terra because all the clash cards block 4. And so when you're swinging like hammer for like 6, it doesn't matter that you're sometimes coming in for 7 off the Terra hero ability because 2 cards block 8 all the time anyway. And I'm like,
Holy crap.
this sounds awful to listen to. I'm so happy I made day 2 of this calling.
My
so I
gosh.
didn't have to worry about this.
And you know I got a cold full at Oldham too. I might just do that just as a torture thing.
You got a
Right?
youngin'? Nice.
Yeah. Dude, that's so crazy. I didn't even think about that, man. That is insane.
Yeah, and
Dude.
so like there's so many random issues with this format right now that need to be addressed.
So what weapon are you playing? You're playing the...
It depends. So
you can bring in the sledge.
Yeah, and the mirror
or the
sledgehammer.
Fist, right?
Yeah, and then in other matchups you play Titan's Fist because that lets you play Steelblade Buckler, which is a 2-block offhand with temper. No joke, that's all it says. Like I know like we've been joking about like flavor text or whatever on cards. This actually says that.
Yeah. I mean, who would thought that like Olympia has a specialization that's just this.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, and then you
crazy,
can
dude.
Equipment or other funny things are the civic equipment from Round the Table.
Yeah.
They're like all block 2 temper equipment that do funny things when you block with them to give your opponent something. The chess piece gets to give your opponent a vigor, which is really funny against ninjas because you give them a vigor and they start their turn by going Kodachi for 1 and you're like, okay, sweet, no blocks, my turn because you didn't.
Oh man. So I mean, here's the thing though. I do believe LSS when they said they've tested Silver Age with the compendium. 100%. Like they're pretty good about that, and they're hyping up the Silver Age or Sage set so much that I'd be surprised if they fumbled it because of stuff like this. Now I do think the Guardian block is a kind of a niche interaction. I don't think LSS kind of planned for, so I'm going to be interesting to see how they get around that because that seems pretty dang good.
Yeah, those are some cards that are getting banned eventually because they just make this format suck so bad.
Yeah, but like, it's like DGA Olympia, man, Oldhim 4-block seems pretty good too, So that's so good. Anyways, thank you, Andrew, for putting that thought into my head. I'm going to totally build a Silver Age deck with that in mind.
Cool.
I know if the Siblings and Cardboard cast is listening to this, and I know they do, they did throw down the challenge. Andrew has agreed to be our, I think it's called pinch hitter, I think it is. So I know Trevor's been busy with personal stuff. So, all right, man. Well, I think that's pretty much taken us out of this topic now. Is there anything else you want to mention as we wrap things up?
Nothing in particular, no.
Yeah. Look, man, every year I say this, and every year I'm pretty happy with the way Flesh and Blood is going. It's still growing. Prize pool's increasing. Competitive format seems cleaner, or at least like they're pushing strides ahead. They're not being complacent, which I hate. Communication lines are still open. They showed us recently with the most recent BNR bans and restriction announcement that they're willing to shake up the format, and they announced it coming in. We all knew something was going to happen. We didn't know what, right? But we knew something was going to happen. So I like that clear communication that they're doing. And so far, not all the sets or Armory decks been bangers out the box, but they've been at least somewhat decent. Like, exception being Master Pack Guardian. But when they said that we learned from this, I tend to believe them. But we'll see with the next one, right? But other than that, man, I think this has been a hyped year. I'm glad I joined it. It's my second year playing Flesh and Blood. I'm happy with the way this is going. Andrew, I know you've been playing a hell of a lot longer than me. What do you think about it?
Yeah, no, I think like this is like the best year yet. Like every year this game gets better, except for that one year where Lexi was legal for way too long.
Yeah. But like even with the BNR changing things up a little bit rapidly, and Silver Age, I'm hyped. I know you're holding your breath a little bit on seeing how that format actually lands, which I could totally respect. You've been in this game a lot longer than me. You've heard the promises before, from Living Legends to Blitz. I get it. Or even what's the one where you, like the supposed PvE game that they're coming out, and then also the is it the death match where you fight all four? What's that called? Like it came out in Smash Palace. That format where you play four players. God. Yeah, I don't remember.
Multiplayer flesh and blood.
I can't.
Ultimate Pit Fight.
That's it. Pit Fight.
Yeah, no, that format was a failure. I'm pretty happy they gave up on that one.
Well, so and that's the thing. I think, yes, I can understand why you're holding your breath back, because you've seen a couple, but to me, this smells like it's going to be a banger of a set coming out. They're doing a lot of good reprints. Yeah. They learned with the reprints how important it is to keep the gate cards flowing and easier access for players. So they really did learn. I hope Compendium is going to be like History Pack Volume 1. Just overly printed and readily available for everyone. I would love to keep on seeing that set come out and not be like a High Seas, or be like one of the other sets like the Hunted, where it's short printed and it takes so much effort to get your cards. So hopefully they learned, and it's going to be readily available for mass amount of time. Especially since it's a core set. But all right, man. Well, shoot. Anything else you want to say? Any last shout outs? Should we pit up Goon Andrew again? No, or sorry, not Goon Andrew, but Goon Evan.
Yeah, Cuck Evan in the Cuck chair.
All right.
One thing we haven't actually talked about that's kind of a part of what you're talking about is Alan Lau and Xing Sang joining the dev team for
competitive players. Yeah,
like these are guys that are actually just insanely good at the game. I would like to point out, by the way, Shang lost to Kadachi Fai in the finals of Worlds one year, joins. Immediately, Brand of Cinderclaw is banned. Okay? I have my conspiracy theories. This is totally intentional. But
that's so freaking hit, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, one of my biggest things I'll say that gives me faith in LSS this year, whenever they're talking about balancing around Compendium, is those two being on the team probably will do a lot to make it a lot better off.
Yeah. Competitive players, I know, Andrew, you speak of you and the rest of our meta. It's you guys keep your ears to the ground about what's moving, right? You do. You just talk with other good players. And I'm sure these competitive players that join the dev teams are going to still keep the pipeline open to talk to other competitive players to get their feedback. So that's always a good thing, right? Yeah, I'm excited, man. They're always pushing strides on this. So, but yeah, good point, man. Good point. So, well, I guess Happy New Year. We can count it down and then see them next year. Until next time, remember, every turn is a decision. Every decision is a story. Don't forget your damn Tunic Counter. Peace.